Hey everyone, welcome to It's Okay to Be Okay. I am Chrystal, one of your hosts, and I am coming to you from Missouri.
Hi everyone, I'm Melissa. I'm from Essex in London, near London, sorry.
And I'm Jen, and I'm from Arizona.
And so today we're going to start our talk off with a question that someone posed to me, a good friend of the family who's staying with us, who is an amputee and has been for, I'll say, probably 30 years almost. Maybe not quite, but no, 30 years. And woke up this morning in pain, phantom pain. And we had been chatting about it a little bit. And he said, hey, maybe that's something you guys could talk about on your podcast a little bit. And I know none of us are amputees, but we're going to give it a go. And then from there, we'll see where the conversation leads to. So here's basically the things that I know to be true. I know that there is the mind, body, spirit connection. I get where he says he woke up this morning very early, 5 a.m., automatically in pain. How does that happen? Was his question. And he gets that, we dream and we have thoughts that we were not aware of at night. And so the one thing that I could point him to was the fact that, when he woke up, he may have been experiencing pain. But from that point, that instant, his thinking went right to it. Not saying that thinking wasn't already there. He just wasn't aware because he was asleep. So, anybody want to jump in and just kind of.
I think that is like the perfect example of showing people that pain doesn't necessarily come just from the body. Because how can you have pain when you have no limb there, right? So it
Right.
shows, okay, so if there's no limb there, where's the pain coming from? The mind. And I get this all the time, like sometimes what you were saying about like when we hyper focus on something, it grows. Like I remember the other night, I was in bed and I felt an itch. And then because I have such awareness and such like, boom, that was it. My whole body started itching and I just like, and I couldn't sleep. And I was like, I know I'm doing this. I know I'm doing this to myself because I'm giving it attention and I'm feeding it. And then it just grew. But it just shows, doesn't it? Like the mind is what's creating the pain or the itchiness or the whatever it is. And I had this when I did the 10-day silent retreat, when I did Vipsana, whatever it is, you had to sit still, not move. And when I first, like on the day 3, I think it was, you had to do like an hour with no movement. It was the most painful sitting I'd ever had. Like my knees felt like they were going to pop. My back felt like it was going to break. My fucking feet, my ankles, everything was so excruciatingly painful. And I think pain is when we resist it. When we're trying to move away from it, when we're not accepting it, that's when it gets worse. And what I realized in that seating area is when I went into the pain and allowed it and stopped trying to change it, then that's when things started moving, it started flowing. The same with the thoughts. Like whatever we resist persists. And I think that's the same with pain as well. Like, can you sit with it, be okay with it being there? Because as soon as you're okay with it being there, then it will lessen. Because we're not feeding it. And I think that doesn't matter whether you have a limb or you haven't got a limb. It's relevant to all human beings. So yeah, that's my kind of thinking towards it.
And see, I'm still not 100% sure how to combat pain from fully principles position. And I don't mix things in very often. But when it comes to pain, I tend to jump towards self-hypnosis because usually we do hyper fixate on that pain. But if we can take it mentally and start to turn it down, you know, if you visualize it, and a lot of people can visualize it, the folding it in half and taking the color down to where it's a bearable pain. I'm not good at visualizing, so I have to go with the feel of it. And so I completely take myself into whether it's a pulsing or a stabbing. I put myself into the pain and then I try to ease up the movement, the vibration until it's more of just like a little buzz than what it started out as.
Yeah, I did something similar when I was doing that 10-day retreat. It was weird, like the way to explain it, it's like I felt all the pain, and then I think it was like the fourth or fifth day where I surrendered to it. And then it's like I felt the pain, and then underneath it I felt the vibration of it. So I didn't feel the pain as I sense it as the sensation as pain, I felt it as vibration,
Mhm.
which was incredible to feel. And then on the next day, because I got a little bit excited, so I come back out of it and then I felt the pain. Next day I went even deeper, and then it was like these layers, like there was the sensation of the pain, the sensation of the vibrations, and then underneath it, it was just nothing. Like literally all the pain lifted. There was nothing. And a few days after that, I had the same thing happen with needing a wee. Like I was desperate for a wee, and I hate needing a wee. Like it's something that I really, really hate. And again, I went into it instead of resisting it because I was like, I need to go for a wee. I went into it, and then again, I felt that sensation of needing a wee, and then underneath it was vibration, but it was a different kind of vibration to the pain, and it was like like really, really quick.
Mhm.
And then again, I was like kind of moving in and out. So it's just like it is just a sensation, a vibration that our bodies are creating. When we understand that and we can play with it, then it starts getting more interesting. Like I do it all the time now. Like sometimes I'll be walking and I'll get pain in my knee and I'll talk to it, you know? Or I get IBS quite a lot. And I think I've said this before, but before I would be like a victim of it. I'd be like, oh, why is this happening to me again? Oh my God, this is excruciating. And it is excruciatingly painful. Sometimes I'm like on the floor nearly crying. And I used to get embarrassed by it, and it used to be really, really bad. And now I don't resist it. I don't fight it. I don't, poor me. Why is this happening to me? I know that it's happening for a reason. And now, like, I'll be, this is gross, but I'll be sitting on the loo and I'll be watching something funny and I'll be laughing. And then the pain will come because it comes in waves. It'll come and I'll be like, really, really painful. And I'll be like, ha 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 ha, ha ha ha, and I'll just be like this. And then as soon as it's gone, I forget about it. What I didn't do before was I would then talk about it, and then I would feel sorry for myself, and then that would just make it last so much longer than it needed to be. So yeah, it is that kind of resisting the pain, fighting the pain, hating the pain. Pain's always just a messenger. It's the messenger of our bodies. It's trying to tell us something, and we try to suppress it with everything else we suppress. What if you could see pain as not as bad, but as just a message? What if you could go into it instead of running from it?
Yeah. I love what you said because that is something I said to him. Talk to it, right? Except I did it a little bit different, I said, have you ever in your personal mind, your little mind, however you want to identify with your intellect, whatever, have you ever talked to it? Have you ever sat there and said, had that conversation in there and said, what's going on here? the limb's not there. Stop, pretty much. Stop it. So I think there is something to on a different like level, acknowledging it to move past it, not acknowledging it in a way of like you're saying, the whole poor me, why me, the day sucks, oh my God, but acknowledging it in the sense of your mind, your body, spirit, all connected. So maybe have a little chat, however that looks, and
Yeah.
just see, be open to the possibility of, and that's the other thing, being open to the possibility that it is possible for it to go away because, and not to have that pain, right? Because like in an amputee situation, I'm not going to say I know this 100%, but I'm going to bet that not every single amputee has phantom pain. I'm sure a lot of them do, but I bet you can find the ones that don't at all. Why is that? Well, it's because of the thinking. And I know medically speaking, scientifically speaking, people would say, oh no, it's because this nerve is still sending this, message and it's causing this. But really it's just the mind, the personal mind believing that the limb is still there,
Hmm.
like it didn't get the message. So I find it really, really interesting. And I don't downplay the pain because who am I to say
Yeah.
how it feels? I don't know.
Pain is
Um,
real. Like my
yeah,
uncle also has a leg missing, and he gets phantom pain.
yeah,
But and
I,
and I think that is like not that pain's a miracle or that it's good, but like it's like showing you you're getting pain in a limb that's not there. What does that
yeah,
say? Like the whole thing, what does that say? How can you possibly get in pain in a limb that's not there?
right.
Because
And
it
you know
goes.
me, I'd be like, just stop thinking about it.
Yeah. You know what? This kind of moves into like hot and cold. You know that game Hot and Cold? So I was speaking to Dominic Zafidi, we've had on the show before, and this can go into pain as well. Like, does that thinking cause more pain or less pain? If it causes more, stop. Go somewhere else with it. Go, and even it doesn't have to be like, so he was saying about like the little nudges of feeling better. So say for instance you're in pain. Can you have a slightly better thinking while you're there? If you can, move in that direction. And then can you have another slightly better thinking in that pain? Move in that direction. Don't go that direction in the more pain or, oh, poor, why me, poor, all that kind of stuff. Because that's going to make the pain worse. So that's a good game, hot and cold. Okay, can I sit here in the pain? First, accept it. Stop trying to judge it, because that's another thing. We judge our pain. Accept it. Allow it. And then start feel like, okay, let me have a better thinking thought. And it doesn't have to be like from here to there, like, I don't have no pain when you do, because you won't believe it. You have to believe it. So I did that with the itchiness in the bed because it was getting worse and worse and worse. And when I was trying to not scratch. I was like sitting in the bed, trying not to scratch. And I was like, no, no, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it more. And then I was just like, no, I can't. And I was like, well, okay, I'm going to think about something a little bit better. Like, okay, my cover's really soft against my skin. And then it literally, within like minutes, I forgot about the itching and it stopped.
I love that example. Really quick, I'm so sorry. I love that example because I've been there. I think we all have. You have one itch and and especially when you're going to bed, right? You get an itch on your back where you can't even reach it. And you're like, oh, you just hyper focus on it. And so finally, I don't know, you get it, right? And then, oh, another one pops up. Oh, another one pops up. I used to play that game too.
Yep.
I don't anymore. Um, because like you said, it's the focus on it. And I'm not saying that this is a mindset hack in any way, shape, or form or anything like that. It's just I don't hold it. I don't hold that itchy thought. Does that make sense? That sounds really weird, but I
Mhm.
don't hold the itchy thought. I let it go. Okay, it itches. Good. It'll stop. And
Yeah.
it does when you just let it go.
Don't take it so seriously. Like, yes, sometimes it's like I remember I was at the gym once. I think I've told this story before, but I was at the gym once and I was paired up with what I consider this amazing woman who's fit as anything. And I was keeping up with her. And then I suddenly started getting IBS pain. My stomach started going, and then I was like, "Oh no!" And then I was like on the floor at one point. I was like, "I'm really sorry, I've got to go out." And I started going back, and I went to the toilet, and I started with the thinking, "Oh, why is this happening right now? Like, could you not like do this right now?" Embarrassment and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, and then I just stopped myself. I was like, "Oh, I'm going to talk to you." I said, "You're safe," because I knew it must have been some kind of anxiety that was bringing it up. I was like, "You're safe. There's nothing wrong with you. You're good enough." And I can't remember what else I said. Something else. And I just took in a few deep breaths, and then bang, it went. Just disappeared. I was like, wow. And I've done the same with migraines as well. If I catch the migraine early enough, then I can literally use my mind and will it away. The body is a miracle.
The mind is powerful.
Very
Yeah.
powerful. But if it can create, it can uncreate pain. If it can create
Yes.
illness, it can uncreate illness.
Yeah. That's another point I had brought up too. I'm sorry, Jen. I know that you have something to say, but that's another point that I brought up. Like, if you can feel that pain, if you're in that thinking of the pain and you know it's, a lot of people do this, and I'm sure you both have probably heard this, whether it's so one of his things was, well, he knew it was going to happen anyway. Okay.
Mhm. Yep.
Because it's storming here. So a lot of people associate, weather with achy joints
Mm.
and kinds of pains. Now, that is also where I talked about, well, we're connected to everything. So I'm not going to dismiss that completely. However, is the weather always connected to your pain? In other words, and he's like, no, sometimes it's before, sometimes it's after, sometimes this. And I'm like, no, and that shows you right there. That's just a story that you picked up along the way of, oh, okay, if the weather is going to be this, well, then I'm going to feel this. And you will, because our minds are powerful. And if you tell it that's what you're going to feel, well, that's what's going to happen,
Hmm.
especially if you stay there.
Yeah. And it's like when people say, well, when I'm on holiday, I feel better. Is it because you're on holiday or is it because you're more relaxed?
Yeah.
Less stress.
Yeah.
You know, like with my clients and stuff, and I deal more with emotional pain. But like with trauma and stuff, I tell them, get curious. Step out of it enough to be the observer and get curious of what it's telling you. Get curious of what lesson you can learn. Because like with emotional pain, I try telling them, healing isn't forgetting about it as if it never happened. Healing is when it can be brought up or you can be triggered and it not completely take you down, you know? It's not forgetting and acting as if it never happened. And maybe with physical pain too, get curious. If the limb isn't there, why is the pain? What is it that your body's trying to tell you? Because, we're in this game. We're in this cosmic game where, yes, mind, body, spirit, all connected. We're all connected with everything, yet the communication between the entities is not like non-existent. We're playing charades with ourselves, trying to figure out what we're doing. And so get curious. Work with yourself instead of against yourself.
Yeah. There's two things I want to say. There's one, I can't remember his name. You guys will know. David talks about him a lot. That doctor, the back pain. That would be a good person to look into if you're suffering with pain.
Dr. John Sonar?
Nope.
Sarno.
That's it.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Yeah, Sarno. Sorry, I always want to say it backwards.
Yeah, so look at him because he talks about the mind-body connection and how he helps so many people relieve pain, not from the body but from the mind. And also, I can't remember where I heard this or who spoke about it, but there was a study done with old people in their like 70s, 80s, and they went into this place, this home, and they were all like, like hunched over with walking sticks and high blood pressure and all that kind of stuff. Your typical older generation who was suffering. They put them in this home, and everything was like when they were in their 20s. Newspapers, pictures, the decoration, everything was set up so it looked like they were in their 20s. When they come out of that, none of them were using their walking sticks. Their backs were straighter, their blood pressure was down, all of it. So, and why is that? Because they thought of themselves as being younger. So their bodies followed. That's the power of thought. And I'll try and find that study and I'll put it in the link so people can go and have a look at it themselves.
And it is kind of, Jen, like you brought up, you deal with the mental pain.
All pain is mental though. Because without thinking, you can't experience physical pain anyway.
Right.
Well, and not only that, you can get hurt physically and not register it until you see it. And then you instantly think of it and have pain.
Yep.
Yeah.
I went hiking Saturday, had a massive blister on the bottom of my toe. Didn't think anything of it until we sat down and I looked. And then as soon as I looked at it, the walk back was very painful because I'd seen it, like you were saying, Jen. Once we see something, and I think about I got so I was doing cheese. You can't probably see it, but it's like I was grating cheese, and I think someone's ate some of my skin, but grated some of my cheese. Didn't even register it until I was like moving the cheese from there, and I saw my finger bleed, and I was like, "Oh!" And then all of a sudden, oh, now it really stings. Perfect example of what you're saying, yeah.
Well, and this is just an observation of mine, but like when people seem really healthy and go in for a random check and find out they have cancer, and as soon as they find out, it's like they go downhill. But they were
Stable.
it's how our mind works and how our thinking takes us, and you know start thinking fear or understanding.
Yeah. And I've been around people that have healed their cancer in a week from laughing, from watching comedies. You watch Dr. Joe Dispenza's film and see how many people have cured themselves. And people think this is woo-woo. Drives me crazy. Like we take our illnesses and our pain and our suffering so seriously, and that's why we suffer. I wanted to talk more about that hot cold game.
Go ahead.
Because that's where I've really struggled, was trusting the universe has my back, trusting to go where I want to go. And like Dominic shared his story, like how his practice got started, how he was like trusting that, and how he had the thought to go outside and journal in a nice day. And he was like, yeah, but that's not productive. That's not going to getting anything done. And he went out there, and then he got this email of someone talking about how well their child done, or that was an invitation for something. He was like, how did I even get on their list? Like, leave me alone. And he put it down, and then that thought come up, like, message her and say, oh, well done, like, you must be really proud. And that basically got him like 200 grams worth of coaching from that one thing. And it's nothing compared, but this morning, the perfect thing happened to us. Dave comes in when I'm in the bath, and he goes, right, we need to do some shopping today. And so let's go to Tesco's. I said, do you want to go to Tesco's or do you want to go Sainsbury's? Because we wanted some fruit in that. And Sainsbury's normally has better fruit, but it's more expensive. He said, yeah, it's more expensive. I said, yeah, but where do we want to go? Sainsbury's. I said, shall we go to Sainsbury's? He was like, okay. So we went to Sainsbury's, got the fruit and stuff, had the strawberries. Amazing. And then a little while later, I was just scrolling on Facebook, and I'm in like one of the groups like in Braintree, and it says, avoid Tesco's Notley because there's problems with the cashiers. And I was like, Dave, look, that's what happens when we follow that feeling. Like, where do we want to go? What feels good? What doesn't feel good? And now I'm like getting excited about it. I'm like, okay, where else can I do this? Where else can I be? Because that was like the universe proving it, right? I was like, Dave, look, that's proof. That's proof we're on the right track. And because I'll get into a position where I'll feel good, and then I'll go, oh shit, I need to do something. I need to take action. But that feeling of taking action at that point is already a manifestation of a frequency. And I was just reminded of that. And now it's like, oh, wait for the good feeling. Our feelings are the only compass we ever need. So yeah, I got really excited and I want to share it. And I just, yeah.
So I like what you just said there. Like, I've been listening to the older Sydney Banks tapes, and I was listening to one right before I hopped on here, and he was talking about how it's all in the feeling, that you have to have the feeling. You have to feel the feeling before you get the understanding. And that, like you said, it's hard to trust our feelings. And, and I didn't go into this, but I could see a lot of people going, well, what feeling? What's it feel like? What feeling am I looking for? How do I know if I found the right feeling? But it's just a good feeling. Because like when when something good happens, we get a good feeling. But when there's nothing going around, as we drop our thinking, a good feeling arises that has nothing, that isn't attached to anything. It's attached to that space of not following your thinking. And yeah, when we can trust those feelings and go into it, not try to name it, judge it, define it, understand it, analyze it, all the things that we do, if we can sit in that feeling and just hold on to it, that's where wisdom lives. That's where our answers live. That's where we know exactly what to do. That's where the pain can't get to us. That's where we truly see what is. And so, yeah, feeling, follow the feeling. If it's a bad feeling, take a step
So,
back and wait for a minute because a better feeling will come and then follow that one. And like you said, the hot, cold, even if it's just a little bit better of a feeling, follow that. And then when you get to the next plateau, breathe, wait for a minute. The first feeling doesn't feel good, wait a little bit longer. just sorry, I don't even know where that came from, but that's what came to my head.
It is, and when you first start doing that, it can be terrifying because quite often the feeling and the direction of the feeling is taking you into a place that's uncomfortable or it's growth or, and I think sometimes the mind can be a little sneaky because, and this is how I know it is the truth. If it come instantly straight away and it felt good, and then straight away after that, I have negative feelings, I know that that's the thinking covering up the wisdom. Like, for instance, I went to reach out to a friend because I saw that she was on a journey. Instantly, I was like, message her. And then I had thoughts like, oh no, you don't want to do that. Or what, she thinks you're weird, blah, blah, blah. And it's very easy to believe that. It's like, what was the feeling just before that? Did that feel good? If that felt good, then follow it and ignore the rest. And I did. And we met up and we literally were on the park bench for 3.5 hours talking about like all of this kind of stuff. And now she wants to know more.
Oh,
So yeah, it is really follow that feeling and be slow enough to see the feeling before the thinking starts. And then when you slow down, it will become easier and easier to discern what is the way to go. Because this is what I'd be like, yeah, but what if I want to do that, but I don't want to do that because I'm having negative feelings? Then I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that because I don't feel crap. No, that's the thinking that you're believing. And you'll know, no, I actually do want to do that. I'm just scared. And that's another direction to move towards because your soul wants to do that. It's just the egoic mind that wants to stop you from doing it. Ramble.
that's okay. It's okay because that's kind of what I did this week. Well, in a sense, I don't want a traditional coaching business. That's not who I am. It's not who I am. Um, so I got quiet with myself this week and just listened. And it's a body of work that I create, right? This podcast means the world to me. It's one of my favorite things to do. Writing. I love writing. I love being in spaces with people and just, talking. Whether it's a teaching space, a learning space, it doesn't matter what kind of space it is. Those are the things that I love to do. And so when I said okay, so to speak, and this is the second time I'm saying okay to it, because the first time I said okay to it, I was like, who are you? This time I said okay to it with no thought. Yep. Let me tell you, the feeling was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And without even realizing, I had created such a weight on myself for ignoring it. Because, man, I tell you what, in that beautiful feeling, I felt so much lighter. Because, yeah, no, you know what? I'm not saying I don't take clients because I have clients right now, but that's not my main focus. I'm not trying to build a coaching business with a bunch of clients. I'm building a platform where no matter what body of work it is, it's the same message. It's the same, it's the principles that I just want to share with everybody in any way that I can, however it comes to me creatively. And oh, it feels so good. Now, is it fun to go back and revamp the website? And no, that's why Crystal hasn't gotten to a lot of editing podcasts, whatever. But it it still does feel good, even though it is a lot of work. Because I'm trusting
Yeah.
and I'm not questioning. And I'm not letting imposter syndrome come in and say, yeah, but who are you? I know who I am. I know what I've experienced. I know what I've gone through. I know what I've seen, and I know it all to be true.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love that you say that because it is that trust. And we will talk ourselves out of it for sure. It'll come, we'll be like, not happening.
And if we
But
have enough time, if we have
Oh,
enough time on our hands, we're going to make things hard on ourselves. I think it's a human trait that, oh, that might be too simple. We should make this really complicated. We should find the hardest way to do this and build
yeah.
a whole bunch of obstacles that we make ourselves go over when we could just go around.
Yeah, because there's this in society belief that if it's easy, then it's not earned.
Right.
Like, to earn what you want, you have to work hard, hustle, all of that bullshit. And that's where I've been at as well. Like you, Chrystal, I don't want a normal kind of coaching business. Yes, I want to coach beautiful women, but I don't want loads of coaching. I want a handful of coaching people to coach at one
mm,
time. I want freedom, and I want my time. Like, my time is so precious to me. I want to be able to go out and have lunch with friends and things like that. And I don't want to go and cold DM people in their fucking inboxes and do marketing shit and all of that crap. I don't want to do that. And I just keep coming in and out of that because I've had, like, I've spent nearly 50 grand on business schools and other coaching business and stuff like that, who all tell me to do that kind of thing. And there's this thing in my body that says, no, you don't have to do it that way. And for the past year, I've literally been fluctuating between, and now it's kind of like I'm starting to kind of come this way a bit more and really just trust, know that the universe has my back. It will bring me the opportunities I need at the time that I need it, and really let go and just follow that hot cold game, and know that that will lead me to where I want to go. That will lead me to my ultimate beautiful career that I want, that I probably can't even imagine right now if we let
you're so
go
right.
and trust.
Yeah, it's
And
hard. Go ahead, Jen.
what I keep hearing is be ordinary, just be you, just be you.
Absolutely.
Because what I'm finding is when I trust, you know, like I'm not doing what I wanted to do, but I love what I'm doing. And when I stopped trying to perform and I just showed up and I was just like, check it out. I can share with you what worked for me, what I've seen to be true, and what I've seen work for a lot of other people. And it's up to you if you want to listen. It's up to you if you want to look. And by trusting that the universe will take me where I'm supposed to be, and by not performing and just falling into it, not giving myself that extra time to think and trip myself up, because before in my schedule I had a lot of time to think about my notes. Now I do not have time to think about my notes. My notes are better and they're getting done faster because I'm just doing them instead of thinking about it. Because I'm stopped trying to word what I do in a way that I think will be approved of. Um, I stopped performing and started trusting that just by being me, just by showing up and sharing what I know to be true from a spot that I know is can help everybody. I don't care who you're from. Y- That's when things have just started rolling like in an unbelievable way. Like what? And I still get paranoid thinking, oh, I think they're setting me up. I think this is all just a, but being myself just showing up as I am and trusting that I'm heading exactly where I need to be has opened things up so much that it's unbelievable.
And I think Melissa, you might, and Jen, you too, but for me, it was not that I didn't trust. It was, I would make a different excuse. It was coming from the scarcity of
Ugh.
money that would be like, oh, I love this, right? And I love doing this and I love doing this, but hold up, because if I create this, then that's going to bring money faster and quicker. So that was where, instead of, like you said, Jen, going around, I'd be like, yep, that's right here in my path. So I should probably do that if I want to make more money right now.
Mhm.
That was the trip up. I've never, ever not been authentic to myself. And I can sit in the spaces with clients and I don't mind it. Like I said, I have clients right now. The principles light me up. But even from before David created the innate well-being program, I knew I wanted to teach instead of coach. And I know, what's the difference, right?
Ugh.
There's a difference.
Mhm.
And then you see all these people with the courses and the get on this call, go with this coach, do this thing. And I'm like, oh shit, I need to do that too then, right? Because everybody else is doing it. That is the kind of things that I did that I'm not doing it. I'm
Mm.
not doing it. And then, like I said, it's not to say I won't take on a client. It's just that's not my main focus. My main focus will always be the principles, but it'll be in the way that I enjoy sharing them, which,
Yeah.
conversation is a big one, but it's more of a group thing or a webinar or even just the podcast. I love the podcast, all of it. So yeah, no, I get it. But yeah,
Yeah. I just recently literally deleted TikTok and I want to delete LinkedIn as well because it doesn't give me joy. Like I go onto it, I'm like, ugh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to post here. And like obviously all the coaches like, make sure you post there, make sure you like get in the scene.
I'm
I'm like, I don't want to. So yesterday, literally, I deleted it. And I'm going to delete LinkedIn because it doesn't fuel me. And this is another thing as well. Like, so I did mine and Dave's tax returns this week. It's the first time I've ever done them on my own because we've always just had accountants do it. When I was at my old job, accountant would do it. It scared the fucking living daylights out of me. Like, and obviously I grew up with this thinking that I'm stupid. And I thought, oh no, I can't do that. And while in that state, I didn't do it. But this week, I don't even know why I wanted to do it. I just had this urge to do it myself. And so I followed that feeling. It felt good. And then I had so much fucking fun doing that. Like the first day, yes, it was a bit like, I was getting a bit like worked up. I was getting a bit panicky. I was getting a bit anxiety because I was feeling stupid. But I stayed with it instead of avoiding it, instead of put it down like, no, I can't do that. We should just, I actually stayed with it because, and then after, I'm so glad I did because I was having so much fun. And I was like, I did Dave's and he was like, can I have my computer back now? I was like, no, let me just do a few more things. And that shows you as well, like, we can want to do things and we feel shit at doing it at the moment because we're coming to it from a lower frequency state. But if we get ourselves in a higher frequency state, then that job looks different. So we think that we're avoiding jobs or we think that we're procrastinating and yes, we are technically, but it's because we're in a lower state. If we can go and do the things that make us feel good, then those things that we didn't want to do at a lower state start to feel different and they start to feel good, and then we do it. And then we do it from enjoyment, not from like, I have to do this. I should be doing this.
It's funny you
And then
say
you
that.
get it. Yeah.
Sorry. And because I love synchronicities. And so when they happen, I love it. So, gosh, I don't know who I was talking to. Somebody I was talking to this past week. It was something along just like you just said there. There's such a difference in I have to and I get to,
Yes.
or I'm able to, either one of those statements. There's never a have to. There's a I get to. And when we come from it at a I have to standpoint, it absolutely has a different feeling attached to it with a whole lot more thinking. When we come at it with gratitude that you get to, that you're able to, so
Yeah.
it's the best feeling. And because I'm going to tell you, for me personally, Melissa, I've never ever heard someone say I did the taxes and it was so much fun.
I know. Like, what the fuck?
But yeah, when you're in that moment and when you're in that presence and when you're in on that level and you just have that gratitude that you're able to, that you get to, it changes the whole thing.
Mm.
It changes the whole thing.
Yeah. And like cooking dinners and stuff like that. Like, I get really, and not anxiety, but I get really like hot and bothered, and then I feel this urgency that literally like comes over me. And today I was like, I cooked lunch, and because I actually do like cooking,
I hate it.
I actually do. I love it actually when I'm in that state, but I'm often not in that state when it comes to cooking because I'm always like resenting it or like, oh, now we've got to do dinner. And then it's that, mainly it's that feeling of urgency. Like, I've got to hurry. I've got not enough time to do it. And then today, like, I was starting it, the feelings were coming up again, the exact same feelings of urgency and like blah blah. And I just stopped for a moment. And I was like, right, I know that I'm creating this. I know that I've got plenty of time. It's a Saturday. There's nothing to do. I've got nothing on for like hours. There is no urgency. And then I just kind of breathed into it. And then I was like, right, I'm making this food from a place of love. And I did. And I made this amazing, like, cheese, ham, pineapple toasty thing. And it was bloody lovely. And I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed cooking. And I even enjoyed doing the dishes, which I fucking hate normally. And that's what I mean. When you're in a different frequency state, the jobs that you hate, you don't hate because you're in a different frequency. And if we're like down here and we're making ourselves do these jobs, every action you do will have the frequency of the where you're at. So would you rather have an action that's got this low, heavy frequency attached to it, which is going to result in that kind of outcome? Or would you go out and do something fun, get in a better frequency, and then do the action when you're feeling good and when it feels good, and then have the outcome of that frequency? When you look at it like that, it's so fucking simple.
Yeah, it's a no brainer.
Yeah.
No pun intended if you guys get it. No brainer, no thinking.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's the guilt. Like, guilt comes up. And that's what fucked me up so many times was the guilt. Like, I'll go and try and raise my frequency, but then I'm doing the thing that I want to do, but I'm not actually enjoying it because I'm sitting in guilt. So again, so if you're going to do it, do it. Enjoy it. Because if you're feeling guilt, then you know that you're in a lower frequency. Again, the feelings are our compass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always will be.
Man, I feel like I've today.
That's all. I mean, I loved it. Don't know how you guys are feeling, but
Hit it
Like,
off, man.
like, share, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you have questions. Reach out. We're here.
Bye, everyone.
I.
Right?